The hospital hallway smelled faintly of disinfectant and coffee, a strange mix that always reminded Dr. Amelia Hart of the fragile line between life and hope. She had worked hundreds of emergency cases, but nothing prepared her for the sight before her that stormy night. A man in his early 40s lay unconscious on the gurney, his face pale, lips nearly blue. "Severe blood loss," the nurse shouted over the beeping monitors. "Car crash on the interstate. He's O negative and we're running out." Amelia froze for a split second. O negative, universal donor, but hard to find in emergencies. "Check the donor bank again," she ordered. "If we don't get blood in him soon, he won't make it." The man's chart read, Ethan Cole, CEO of Cole Industries, one of the wealthiest, most influential businessmen in the country. His name was always in the news, for his empire, his power, his cold-hearted business decisions. But right now, all the headlines meant nothing. He was just another human being fighting for life. Minutes turned into tense silence as the staff searched for a compatible donor. Then, in the waiting area, a small voice broke through the chaos. "Excuse me, I can help him," said a little girl, no older than 6. Her oversized sweater nearly swallowed her tiny frame, and her brown curls stuck to her tear-streaked cheeks. "My blood is O negative. Mommy said it's special." The nurse looked at her in disbelief. "Sweetheart, where's your mom?" The girl pointed to a frail woman sitting on a bench, holding her chest and breathing shallowly. "Mommy's sick." But she said, "We should always help people who need it." The nurse exchanged a glance with Dr. Amelia. "She's a child," Amelia whispered. "We can't." But the girl looked straight into her eyes and said softly, "Please, he's dying." Something in her voice, so pure, so certain, cut through every layer of hesitation. After confirming it was medically safe and her mother signed consent, the transfusion began. The girl's tiny arm trembled, yet she didn't flinch. "Will it hurt him?" she asked. Amelia smiled softly. "No, sweetheart. You're saving him." A faint smile flickered across the girl's lips. "Then it's okay." Her mother, watching from across the room, whispered a prayer through tears. Hours later, the monitors steadied. The once erratic heartbeat found its rhythm again. "He's stabilizing," Amelia breathed in relief. "We did it." The team cheered quietly, but all Amelia could think about was that brave little girl whose blood now ran through a man she had never met. Days passed. Ethan Cole woke to a sterile ceiling, the steady hum of machines beside him. His throat was dry, his body weak, but he was alive. The doctor entered, smiling. "Welcome back, Mr. Cole. You had a close call." He tried to speak, but only managed to rasp. "What happened?" "Car accident, you lost a lot of blood. You're alive because of a donor, a little girl." He frowned. "A little girl?" "Yes. She insisted on helping you." Ethan felt something stir in his chest, a warmth unfamiliar to him. "Can I meet her?" The doctor hesitated. She and her mother left shortly after the transfusion. They didn't want attention. "Find them," he said hoarsely. "I need to thank them." Over the next week, Ethan couldn't stop thinking about her. He'd built an empire from nothing, clawing his way up the corporate ladder, becoming ruthless in the process. He'd lost touch with compassion long ago. His wife had left years before, taking their unborn child with her, or so he believed. She disappeared without explanation, leaving behind a note that simply said, "I can't live like this anymore." He never searched, burying himself in work, money, and power. But now, the thought of a little girl saving his life haunted him, in the best way possible. One morning, he received a call from Dr. Amelia. "We located the donor's mother. She's in the hospital again, critical condition." Without hesitation, Ethan drove there himself. When he arrived, he found the same frail woman lying on the bed, struggling to breathe, while the same little girl sat beside her, clutching her hand. "Mommy, please don't go," the girl whispered. The woman looked up weakly as Ethan entered, and her eyes widened in shock. Ethan? She breathed. He froze. That voice, faint but unmistakable. Claire? His heart stopped. You're alive? She gave a weak smile. Barely. I never wanted you to see me like this. Tears blurred Ethan's vision as he stepped closer. You left. I thought you and the baby. Claire shook her head slowly. I was pregnant when I left. I couldn't stay, Ethan. You'd changed. You were so focused on money, success. I didn't want our child growing up in that world. So I raised her quietly, away from all of it. His gaze fell on the little girl beside her, the same one who had saved him. Your child. His voice trembled. Claire nodded, whispering, Your daughter. The world seemed to collapse and rebuild in that moment. His daughter. His blood and her blood, literally flowing through him now. What's your name, sweetheart? He asked softly. She looked up with curious brown eyes that mirrored his own. Lily, she said. I'm Lily Cole. He fell to his knees beside her, tears streaming freely. Lily, you saved me. The little girl smiled shyly. Mommy said we should help people, even if they don't know us. He reached for her hand and she wrapped her tiny fingers around his trembling ones. Claire watched the two of them, a faint peace settling over her tired face. She's always been brave, just like you used to be. Ethan shook his head. No, Claire. She's everything I should have been. Claire exhaled weakly. Promise me. You'll take care of her. Give her the life I couldn't. He gripped her hand. Don't talk like that, you'll get better, But her smile told him she already knew. You have her now, Ethan. Don't waste this second chance. Minutes later, as monitors flatlined softly, Lily began to cry. Ethan held her tightly, whispering, It's okay, sweetheart, I've got you. I promise I'll never let go. For the first time in years, the powerful CEO wept, not from loss, but from the overwhelming grace of being given something he didn't deserve. Love. Months passed. Coal industries changed. Employees noticed how their once cold boss now visited hospitals, funded children's health programs, and smiled, genuinely. Every week he and Lily volunteered at the same hospital where she had saved him. She would bring flowers to patients, giggling as she handed them out. Daddy says kindness is magic, she'd tell them proudly. And Ethan would smile, knowing she was right. One afternoon, as they left the hospital, Lily looked up at him and said, Daddy, Mommy's watching us, right? He nodded, his throat tight. Yes, sweetheart, she's watching every day. Lily squeezed his hand. Then she knows we're okay. Ethan looked toward the sky, feeling the evening sun warm his face. Once he'd thought success was measured by wealth, control, and power. But now he understood. Real success was being the kind of man his daughter believed he was. And deep down, he knew he hadn't just been saved by her blood, he'd been reborn by her love. That night, as Lily drifted off to sleep in his arms, she murmured softly, Good night, Daddy. I love you. Ethan kissed her forehead and whispered, You saved me, Lily. You saved me in every way. And for the first time in his life, Ethan Cole, the man who once had everything but love, felt truly alive.